Coach? Coach, you got a couple early, and did you kind of feel it was hanging on after that, or played well, or just your thoughts?
There was times I thought we were hanging on, John, which obviously I don't like. That was more in the second period than I felt that way in the third. But it did feel like one of those nights where the bounce was going to happen and they were going to find a way to tie the game up. But credit to our guys who didn't let that happen. Again, I thought there was more of that feeling, for me anyway, in the second period than there was in the third. I thought the third we did fine.
Is there a level of concern going into the playoffs, playing a game like that, or playing in that style, second, third period, just kind of, you've got a lead, but you're a goal away?
No, we won the game, and the concern would have come had we found a way not to win tonight's game. I would have been a little bit concerned, but the bottom line is we found a way to win the game, and we did what we needed to do this weekend from a 20-win perspective. From a, the pairwise doesn't look at the score; they look at did you win or did you lose, and we won. So I'm not concerned about that. I always want us to play better, John. I think that's a fault of mine. But we found a way to win, and that's a good thing. You're not going to win 7-1 both nights. It's just not, or 7-2, excuse me. It's just not going to happen. Teams are too good at the college level. So one game's a little bit easier on my heart, and tonight was a little bit tougher.
What do you like from this weekend that has you confident about this group going in?
We won both games. We found a way to win both games. And that, our record may say we've done that a bunch, and I think we had done that a bunch the first half. The Ferris weekend here, we found a way to win 2 games. But other than that, we hadn't been finding ways to win games. And right this time of year, you got to find ways to win games. So that's what I'm happy about the most.
A couple weeks ago, you mentioned mixing lines, trying to figure things out. The last time we were here, you mentioned goalie positions up in the air, lines, goalie position. Do you have your mindset where you like everybody?
Not with the lines. That's always seems to be a work in progress. Goalie, I mean, it's hard to say. Tommy Burke's not the guy going into next weekend, but we've still got a good week of preparation. Sounds like we're playing Northern Michigan, which that's good for us. We want another crack at those guys after the series we played here. And we'll prepare like we always do. Part of that preparation will be looking at the lines, looking at the goaltending, looking at the D pairs. So there's nothing set in stone right now, but I think I've got a good start at all 3 positions on who we want where for sure.
So you said you'll prepare as you normally do, so you wouldn't expect to see anything different in practice? You're not going to try and tweak anything?
No, not at this time. We'll look at Northern's tape, the series that we were here, but we felt like going into the third period both nights with leads, we found a way to lose those games versus find a way to win. And obviously we want to clean that up, but that's not necessarily something you can totally do in practice. You can't. It's hard to recreate 2-1 lead going into the third. You can tell them that's the score. You can tell them put it on the scoreboard, but it's not the same. The bottom line is we want to execute better at those times. I thought tonight we executed fine at that time. It would have been nice to see us score that third goal to give us some breathing room, but our preparation next week will be as much mental as, if not more, than physical. We're at the time of year right now where we just need to be right in the head. And part of that's rest. Part of that is know what to expect from your opponent, and our guys will be well versed on what to expect from Northern.
Was there any thought this weekend, Coach, about you talked a little bit earlier in the week about giving some guys some rest, getting some guys off the ice because the second half of the season has been so hard. Any thought about that?
There really wasn't. The biggest decision we had today was was with Teddy Pletz, quite honestly. I mean, Teddy's had a tough year physically, and I didn't want to put him in harm's way. But I also felt like what he's done for this program the last 3 3/4 years, or almost 4 years now, he really deserved to play tonight. So I know that was a hard conversation to have with some guys that had been working and grinding all year long in practice, but it was too important to keep the momentum. And again, we're playing for that at-large type situation, and we'll have plenty of time to rest. So I think we came out of the weekend pretty good physically.
Chris will have a better job of staying out of the penalty box tonight.
Yeah. what's usually the way it works, right? I mean, you get after them, and, you know, I took full blame for the bench penalty last night, and obviously that's not acceptable, but 8 penalties other than that, and tonight we had one. I mean, we found a way to win the special teams battle both nights, Kevin, and that's what it's going to take. It's not because it's playoffs. We talked about special teams in October, and for the most part, our special teams have been pretty good this year. It's nice to see our power play heating up right now. But as you say, the discipline was good, and I expect that from our team. We're a disciplined bunch when we're right.
And then a Rose question with Postgame shooting at the empty net, he got hooked. Could that have been a penalty shot?
From what the interpretation the referee gave me was, the only way that happens is if it's a clear-cut breakaway.
Coach, you talked a little bit about getting ready for the playoffs, and it's more a mental thing. What kinds of things are you working on then mentally to get ready?
Well, what we'll work on, John, is Northern's tendencies, Northern's lineup. Obviously, they're the systems, what they want to do. And Northern's a big physical team. They're going to want to outcompete us. They're going to want to make it very difficult on us. So we're going to prepare our guys for that, which is a little bit of physical preparation, which we'll probably focus on Tuesday. But it'll just be that, basically what we do every week. Know what to expect from their goaltender, know what to expect from their decor, refer back to the video, and show some clips of what their tendencies are, like I said. So it won't be anything new. Like, we're not going to reinvent anything and have a mental training session all week long. We're not turning on a switch because it's playoffs. This is the same approach we're taking every week, all year long. The second half has been a lot more rest than the first half because of the travel and so on and so forth. So it won't be anything special mentally. It'll just be the same type of stuff to prepare our guys the best we can, so they're ready to go.
Is the rest in the second half any different from the last few years, or is it the same?
Actually, it's been more this year. We've played 10 weeks in a row, starting with the Robert Morris series with the outdoor game. It's been 10 weeks in a row, and that may not seem like much. In college, it's a bunch. I mean, last year I think we had 2 weekends off in the second half. This year we've had none, obviously, and now it's going to be 11 weeks in a row with next week, and we're hoping it goes 12 and so on. So it has been more, hoping that we were going to put ourselves in a position for playoffs, hoping we were going to put ourselves post-playoffs or continued postseason. So we've tried to really take our foot off the gas Mondays and use, I feel the preparation is rest. That's part of your preparation, is resting, both mentally and physically. I push these guys pretty good, and they could use a couple days without that. So it has been more this year than the last couple of years, yeah, based on the schedule.
You guys glad you got a shot at Northern Michigan next week?
Yeah, I'm glad we're at home. I'm really glad we're at home. Obviously, Northern Michigan and us have a past when it comes to the playoffs. It's been the CCHA past, but if you look, our first 2 years here, we went to Northern back-to-back years as the 11th seed. They were the 6th seed, and we had some success there. They're not going to forget about that. There's players on the team that were part of that, on both teams. But obviously the taste in our mouths from the last home series, we thought we played better than the results. Well, now we'll have to prove it.
Your resume, do you feel like you have to win the conference high? I mean, I know I'm looking way ahead, but what do you guys feel like you have to do? Do you have to feel like you run the table, or do you like the resume?
In order to what?
To continue postseason to
Well,
be in that final tournament.
Running the table guarantees that we continue in the postseason. Do I think we have to do that? I'm not sure, but that's the plan. But as always, we'll start talking about the series. We'll start talking about Friday night. We'll start talking about preparing for Friday night. We'll try to keep it in a small picture approach like we always do. I don't think all of a sudden starting to talk about running the table and that's what we have to do. I mean, one of our goals is obviously to win a playoff championship. We've made the playoffs. We're hosting the first round. Our goal is to win the playoff championship, just like it would be, I'm sure, for all of the 8 teams that are in the playoffs. We have an opportunity to do that.
You mentioned the CCHA playoffs, this senior class, their freshman years when you guys made it to the Joe. Can you talk a little bit about the senior class, what they've meant to the program?
It's hard to totally put into words in a short amount of time. I can tell you this: these guys came to Bowling Green when It was just a plan in terms of what we were saying to them. There was definitely opportunity there for them to come in and play right away, and they all took advantage of that opportunity. But it wasn't the thing to do in the college hockey world to go to Bowling Green. It was, I mean, even like I've said before, their coaches, the people in their lives were telling them that program's going nowhere. We're not sure if they're going to have a future. I mean, we knew internally that we'd been past that and we were moving forward. But they made a decision based on a plan, and they put trust in us, and that's hard to wrap your arms around how special that is for me. I hope they look back and they would do the same thing again. They had 14 wins as freshmen and 21 wins with games to play as seniors. I hope a pretty good experience. Been to the league championships a couple times, some playoff wins. They're going to walk away with a degree, and again, hopefully life experience that they would say, I'd do it all over again. We're missing some guys. It's not just these 5. Carp was part of it. Marcus Perrier. I know, Rusty Hafner. I can't not mention him. These kids all have been a huge part of what's gone on in this program in the last 4 years, and we're going to miss them, but we're not going to forget.
Good.
Sorry for running in here late,
It's okay.
but obviously I'm sure you already answered this, but obviously a successful weekend for you all.
Yeah, and that's what we wanted to do. Obviously, last night was a little easier in terms of the score. I thought we deserved what the score was. Tonight we found a way to win games like this. A lot in the first half, not as much the second half, but that's a good feeling that we can still win games like this. Close, tight checking games. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.